Alright, so in this video we're checking out the STARTRC S8 FPV remote controller. Now this is only for simulators, and there's no battery in this one, no wireless transmission, there's no radio system here. You can't connect to any type of receivers. This is primarily and only for using with simulators on your smartphones or your PC or Mac. So clearly this video is going to be for those of you that have absolutely nothing, are interested in flying FPV, and I would say primarily interested in spending the least amount of money. Just I think this is going to be mainly for people that are just kind of interested, maybe kind of curious about FPV, but don't want to spend a lot of money, don't want to commit to anything serious, and just sort of give it a try. This is around $23 right now on Banggood, and I would highly recommend just using the free FPV simulator software out there. I'm going to be demonstrating FPV Skydive, which is free on Android and on also your PC through Steam. I would not bother spending the $15 to $30 on the wide variety of paid FPV simulators out there. I know that there's going to be a bunch of shills out there. They're going to be screaming down in the comments saying that that you need to spend money on those higher end or paid versions of FPV simulators, and I would say don't do it because they're not that much better. I have tried them. You as a beginner, never flown before, won't be able to tell the difference, and basically you're just padding the pockets of those shills that are telling you to buy those software when you can just get it for free. Basically, I think about half the $30 is going to go to that shill that's wanting you to buy the FPV simulator software. So just get the free version. I'll link that in the description, and just spend the money on this. Now, of course, if you are more than curious, if you're a little bit more serious and feel like you're going to be more committed to this hobby, you want to learn on something that's going to take you beyond the simulator, then I would definitely not get this and invest in something at a minimum, probably something like the Radiomaster Pocket. If you're interested in those reviews, I will link some of those down in the video description, or you can just leave me a comment and I'll answer as to which one you can watch. You know, if you're really hard up on money, then maybe try out the Jumper Smart Radio, which I reviewed as well, which is very limited, but at least that will also let you do simulator use as well as actually connecting to some Express LRS receivers and some real drones, so you can actually get some real flying experience. But without further ado, let's get into this video here. So in the box you get the controller, you get a USB-C to USB-A cable, you get two manuals, one is in English, one is in Chinese, and then you get these stickers here that kind of outline the different modes, and basically there's different modes when you plug this in, and some of them are going to be for the Steam based or PC based RC controllers or flight simulators, and then there's other ones like DJI Virtual Flight. You're going to meet in these different modes. I'll show you that here in a second, but it's also outlined in the manual, but we'll just get right into it. There's no battery in this controller, so it's powered off of your phone or PC, and I am going to use my smartphone here. So gonna bring the camera up here. Got a S25 Ultra Samsung, and you do need a smartphone with on-the-go capability, and OTG is what it's called, or OTG USB. You need one of these OTG USB cables for it to work. This is not included. I'll link this in the description as well if you're wondering where to pick one up. Obviously it'd be easier just to use it on your PC. You can just plug this end of the cable into your PC, but I don't have a working version of Steam right now, so I'm going to have to just use my phone. So go ahead and unlock my phone, get the software installed. So the software is called FPV Skydive. I'll link that in the description where you can pick that up. It's on the Google Play Store. And then I plugged in one end of this cable that is included into the OTG adapter, as you can see here. And then the other end is going to go into the controller. There we go. So now we have power and we have this yellow light, and now you can see it says it's connected here now. Now if it's on a different mode, you can press a button here at the bottom that changes the color. So you can see the color there is green, and those colors correspond to these stickers here. For different FPV simulators, you need to have a different mode for this controller, and the green one here is for DJI. Some of these, like the blue one, won't work with the phone because it says it's disconnected now, so that's obviously the wrong mode. And then this one here is like purple, that is also disconnected. And then the yellow one is the one you actually want to use, this yellow mode. And now it says it's connected. Now before you fly, you do need to do the joystick calibration. That's pretty common on all of these simulators. And basically, you have to start the joystick calibration, and then the throttle is going to be on this side here. On the left, you have your, there's yaw, which is this way on the left stick. Your roll is going to be on this axis here on the right stick. The pitch is going to be this way on the right stick. So just go ahead and do this really quick. You can watch and follow along. So we have a radio transmitter. So center the sticks first, throttle up, yaw to the right, pitch forward, roll to the right, move the sticks around 360 degrees, center the sticks. This is for the reset, arm, and flight controller. So there's two position switches here on the left and the right and the bottom, and these are 3 position switches. So you can now see how this is working. So as I move the sticks, you can see how they respond here in the screen, and it all looks like it's working correct. This is the restart, arming here, and then scroll up here. You have these different flight modes. You can see they have acro, angle, and horizon. I would highly recommend, since you're in a simulator and you're probably going to crash a lot anyway, I would recommend just learning in acro mode. Just ignore angle and horizon. It's just going to be like a crutch, and you're going to be dependent on it, and it will make actual flying, learning how to fly later, much more difficult. So just be aware of that. Alright, so now we can go back and we can hit fly. So we'll just hit stadium here. This looks like it's going to be pretty simple, and we'll hit just freestyle. We're not going to be doing any racing here. And basically you're going to see how it's like this. We're going to hit the arm switch, and then we should be able to just take off and fly, as you can see, like this. And I can tell that the rates on here are pretty high for a beginner. Like I'm an experienced pilot. I feel like these rates are kind of on the high side, but yeah, you can see you can definitely fly. Yeah, the rates are kind of wonky actually. So I'm gonna hit the restart here to restart, and let's go and change some settings. So I'm gonna get out, go into the settings here, and we're gonna go into this thing called rates. It's right there. So looks like it's set to intermediate. So you probably want to go at least to beginner rates as such. And let's go here to beginner. Okay, set to custom. I don't want that. I want beginner. Hit apply. And so you can change all things like your expo, super rate. I would recommend adding expo. Just makes the stick feel softer. So I'm going to do that. Yeah, it looks okay. Now roll expo, we'll just add some more here. and Yaw Expo. Alright, apply. Let's go back and resume. Alright, so let's see how this is. So I'm going to try and show you what it looks like on with the controller here, but obviously the screen in the back is going to be a little out of focus, but let's go ahead and arm, we'll take off. Okay, that's definitely a lot better. Alright, restart. Alright, so go ahead and we'll arm, go ahead and take off. Let's see what these rates are. So much slower in the beginner rates, but I can tell that it's going to be a lot easier for the beginners, for you guys to learn how to fly. So definitely, if you're having trouble, I would recommend adjusting the rates. And you can see I went off course. Go ahead and restart and take off again. So it doesn't matter how many times you crash. You're in a simulator. This is for learning. Yeah. So obviously, I have to I'd make these adjustments to these rates to the way I like them. When actually, it's not really exactly what I like. These beginner rates are actually way slow. But it's going to be good to learn, because then it's going to sort of, you're not going to be able to go too crazy on the sticks. And you can see you can definitely fly around fairly smooth here. And that's sort of the idea. But if you want to learn how to do some freestyle, let's go ahead and get out of this. We'll try a different map. Back to the main menu. And I'm going to change my rates again here. These are just way too low. I'm going to go to intermediate with some expo on different axes. We'll go back. Fly. Let's try this construction area. And we'll hit freestyle. And going to go ahead. I'm going to bring this so you can actually see what it's like. Restart. You can see what mode you're in, or if you hear acro and you're disarmed. So obviously I want to be in acro mode. Hit arm, take off. Alright. Yeah, so definitely flyable. So obviously, simulators are not 100% the same as real life, but I would say for a beginner, it's going to give you a pretty good taste of what's possible. So, doing some power loops there. Can do some pretty cool freestyle rolls here, you know. So this definitely works totally fine. Doing some Matty flips. So if you want to learn how to do tricks and stuff, if you maybe already know how to fly a little bit, this is definitely a good way to go. Obviously, something like this, if you already have a controller or whatever, you can probably get it hooked up to the simulator in the same way I'm doing right now. And this free one is pretty good. I mean, honestly, like the physics of some of the higher end simulators is going to be slightly better, but for most things it's not going to be. Yeah, I can just hit restart and then arm and then off and go again. But you know, the paid simulators, they're not that much better in my opinion. And if you're just wanting to learn how to like sort of set up some tricks, this is definitely a good way to go. So I can just power lift this whole. Whoa. Yeah, so sometimes it takes a bit of concentration to fly. And power lift this whole crane. Oh, it even has some of the prop wash there, which is kind of cool. Anyway, go ahead and restart there. All right, so that should give you a good idea how this controller works. It works pretty well for the money. And, you know, there's a lot of simulators out there. This will work with the vast majority of them. If you look at the manual or the product page, it shows you all the different ones that are available to you. A lot of them are going to be costing between $15 and $30. But again, I would say just get the free one. If you're a beginner, if you're spending 20 bucks and you don't want to spend a lot of money, why spend 30 bucks on the simulator when you may not be in the hobby for very long? So, you know, if you're really looking just to spend the minimum amount of money, then just get the free one. That's what I would recommend, and it works totally fine. But if you do want to get the paid ones, this does work fine with a whole bunch of wide variety of simulators out there. You just have to make sure you're in the right mode for the simulator that you're in. Otherwise, I think this works fine for a beginner just learning. It should get you started. But again, I would recommend if you are thinking about this more seriously, then, you know, just get an actual controller that you can actually use with the drone later, because those will also work with simulators as well, because they do come with the USB-C port. And you can spend as little as, I think the Jumper Smart's like $40 to $45. So yeah, it's about double the cost of this one, but that one you can actually use with a actual drone in the future, so you're not spending the money again. Because if you do end up buying this and then you want to actually fly a real drone later, you can't use this. You have to actually buy another controller, so you're kind of spending money twice. So that's my thoughts on this one here. Link will be in the description if you want to check it out, as well as the link to the free simulator, and also my other videos if you want to check out the Jumper Smart or the Radio Master Pocket. Those are the ones I would recommend if you're definitely going to be moving forward in the hobby. You want to, maybe if you bought this and you want to move on to a real radio, those are good ones to start off with if you're a beginner. Okay, that's going to cover for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one.